These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Saturday, July 1st. Free agency started the other day. We had a live stream. A bunch of you guys tuned in, and we appreciate that very, very much. A lot of stuff has happened since then. A lot of signings, some Celtics news sprinkled in there, which, of course, we will be starting with. And let's just get right into it. The Boston Celtics signed Oshae Brissett in free agency. We did a whole video reacting to the move right as it happened. Watch some of his highlights.
A breaking news reaction. Yeah,
exactly. When we
We're on
killed
it.
the Celtics that one time. So if you want to see our initial reaction to the signing and some thoughts about his highlights, check there. But we can at least discuss the move here. Oshae Brissett, 6'7" forward who has spent the past 3 seasons with the Indiana Pacers. He is 25 years old, I believe. I'm pulling up the basketball reference now. 25 years old, just turned 25 11 days ago. 6'7", small forward / power forward. Averaged 6 points, 3.5 rebounds last season on not very good shooting splits. I will also say he didn't really have a consistent rotational role last season. He only averaged 16 minutes a night for the Pacers, and that's after 24 in 2020, 2021, and then 23 the year prior. So he really took a dip in his rotational role this past season, probably due to
he
the fact
really
that
had a big 2020, 2021 season.
Yes,
11 points on 48% and 42%.
Not bad. He did only play in 21 games, and so it was a shorter season with the Pacers that year. But the past 2 seasons prior to this past year, he played really well for Indiana. But his role was really scattered. He's going from playing 30 minutes a night to 6 the next night, then 25, 19, 15, 20, 13, 3, 17, 26. Like, he just didn't have a consistent place in the rotation. Not that he's going to have that in Boston either. But I all I'm saying is don't take his struggle-filled season this year. Like, you can't take Peyton Pritchard's struggles or consistency issues this year at face value, because he can be a rotational piece somewhere because he's shown it in the past. Oshae Brissett, though, from stuff I've seen in the YouTube comments in our videos, from stuff I've been talking to other Celtics writers about, good cutter, very long wingspan, athletic guy, solid, has the potential at least to be a solid defender. He is an okay defender, but he has the potential to be like a pretty good defender in the NBA. He's got the body for it. Solid signing, 2 years, both minimum years, and there is a player option on the second season. It's a nice roster filler, guy who can maybe play some rotational minutes for you if you need him to. So good signing, Brad Stevens.
Yeah, they needed wing depth. It's the first thing I mentioned in the breaking reaction, and they got it, right? They got somebody that can shoot a little bit, career 34% shooter from distance, not the best, but there's been promising stretches there. Of course, with the Celtics, he's going to have more open looks, more comfortable shots, and better chances to succeed, which is an important thing. If he's able to give them something defensively that's a plus, you're going to see him earn more minutes that way. With the potential departure of Grant Williams, which I'm sure we're going to talk about, kind of looming. We don't know what's going on with him yet. There hasn't been anything on him. It's been over 24 hours as we're recording this since the free agency period opened, or moratorium, really. You haven't gotten any Grant update. You've got a ton of other updates on guys that went to teams that Grant may have been headed to. So kind of seeing options dry up for him. So maybe he comes back. But regardless of Grant being on the team, not being on the team, it's great that they brought in more help for that wing possession behind Tatum and Brown, because they really need it. They didn't have anybody to turn to in the playoffs, and it felt like it hurt him at least a little bit.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. Having that extra guy in the rotation, somebody athletic at least. Like, Sam Hauser's a solid player, and I do still think he'll get minutes over Oshae Brissett, but without even having seen him, you can probably place a nice gamble that Oshae Brissett's probably a bit more of an active defender than Sam Hauser can be. Not that Sam Hauser's been a bad defender. Hey, man. Not that Sam Hauser's been a bad defender, but he's an attackable defender, and there's been limiting success at that, and we've talked about it as a joke, and like, oh, look, Hauser Island, but getting another athletic guy in here with longer arms who can defend at a reasonably high level. Again, solid signing, cheap signing, really no risk in it. So good.
Yeah, if you pay someone the minimum, there's legitimately no risk.
Yep. Exactly. Next thing we have another move the Celtics made on the first night of free
It was
agency.
actually the first Celtics news we got yesterday. We got it on stream. We were doing our free agency stream again. A lot of people showed up for that, so we appreciate it.
Yes, Celtics re-signed Kristaps Porzingis, who they just traded for, to a 2-year, $60 million contract. The max they could have extended him for was 2 years, $77 million. So they got him at a pretty good discount. Brad Stevens saving a little money there. As much as $30 million is like, whoa, it's not a lot of money under the new CBA, especially considering you're getting an all-star caliber player for not a max contract.
We will get into guys that make more money than Kristaps on the extension, I'm sure, later in the show. We've got a little something planned.
We're going to be drafting the worst and the best free agency contract so far. So we'll get, like Sam said, we'll get to some guys who maybe got a little bit too much money. But Porzingis back for 2 more seasons past this one. So it's similar to the Josh Richardson extension that they gave him when he signed a couple seasons ago, except a longer. So now Kristaps Porzingis will be under contract for the upcoming season, and then 2024, 25, and 25, 26. So they have him for a long while. That falls in line with the contracts of Robert Williams and Jason Tatum, should he accept his player option. It's in line with those guys. He is now the third Celtic on the roster who's under contract for that season. Again, Tatum, Rob, Porzingis that year. So good for Brad getting him at a reasonable deal, especially for a guy that put up all-star numbers last season. Saved a lot of money. Good for Brad.
Yeah. So he's actually taking a pay cut technically to stick with the Celtics for 2 years. This year, making $36 million, will make an average of 30 for the next 2 seasons. Very good for him. Good, again, under the new CBA, like Jack mentioned, that's kind of a big land, right? Because you're seeing all these guys get massive deals in free agency. If you've been paying attention, again, we're going to talk about it later in the show. But Fred VanVleet getting a ton of money. Jeremy Grant will make more money than Kristaps Porzingis when he's on his extension. I mean, they landed a guy that's been an all-star before, a guy that is coming off a career high in points, career high, second best actually in games played for the season. He shot almost 50% from the field, almost 40% from 3. He gets rebounds. He's able to defend the pick and roll as the drop guy. That's huge. The Celtics needed that. And we've said it so many times, with Horford getting older and Grant Williams' future uncertain, they did need somebody to be this guy that is going to be the big guy of the future, the versatile big, the guy that can shoot jumpers from the front court. Glad they got him.
I think he's going to play extremely well next to Robert Williams. I'm very much looking forward to that.
He's going to give Rob a little bit more space to work with down low in terms of the defense being stretched out, more chances for lobs to happen as there's less help defense down there. One guy is going to have to commit to the ball handler, and Rob's going to get good looks at the rim.
Definitely. Agree. Speaking of Porzingis, we'll stick with it here. Kristaps Porzingis said hello to Celtics Nation for the first time the other day with his introductory press conference. We're just going to go through some quotes that came from it. He's wearing number 8, as we went over the last pod. During an interview with Chris Forsberg of NBC Sports Boston, he revealed that he was potentially going to go with 4. Then he looked on Twitter. He's like, oh, these people are saying number 8. And Greens Run Deep, who's a very big Twitter account, Instagram account, Celtics guy. He was like, I think I saw Greens Runs Deep on Twitter say 8. So I think I lean for that. So that's pretty cool. if Kristaps,
I actually think 4 would have been better because I saw somebody say Porzingis.
That would have been cool.
Yeah,
that would have been cool. I was about to ask if somebody's worn 4 since Isaiah, but Carson Edwards wore 4.
Carson Edwards, Malik Fitz.
True. So it is what it is. But
no, not Malik Fitz. Joan Begrin. No. Oh my gosh.
Who?
Juwan Morgan.
Juwan Morgan. Oh, yes. Okay. I was like, Juwan Begrin never played. Some quotes, though. Let's start here. Kristaps was apparently asleep when the trade happened. It was 4 a.m. in Latvia where he was. And quote from Kristaps, I woke up and saw the trade happen, that I was extremely excited and extremely happy.
Yeah, so that gives a little bit of insight into why they did not extend the deadline. He was sleeping. Yeah.
Maybe that's a part of it.
Another one.
Sam, I don't know if you've seen this one. I want you to react to this. When asked if he'll be ready to perform in the playoffs, Kristaps provided an honest and refreshing answer. Who knows? but I'm going to do everything I can to help this team. I have a taste of it, and I know what it's like. Thoughts?
Has he played? Yes, he has played the playoffs.
Thoughts on the quote?
At least he's honest.
Hey, I guess honesty is
Usually,
the best policy.
he is doing the first half of undersell and overdeliver.
This is
So
true.
let's hope the second half is coming. I guess you can't get too mad at that because he's just tendering expectations. Then if he sucks, he can be like, look, I told you I was just going to do my best.
Yep. Kristaps has played in 10 total playoff games in his career, all in Dallas. He only played in 3 his first season in Dallas. I think he got injured, I would assume. And then he played in 7 in the bubble year, 7 games, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 47% of the field, 29% from 3. Not very good.
He was rough in both of those series he was in, I believe.
3 games he played before injury, 24 points, 8.7 rebounds, 52% from the field, 53% from deep. So not too bad in those 3 games.
The 7 games may not have been the bubble then. The 7
you're right. It wasn't the
may have
bubble.
been
You're right.
Fake fan cardboard cutout season.
You're right. I read it wrong.
Because I remember he was terrible in the last go he had with the Mavs.
Yeah. Middling success there for Kristaps, but in the playoffs. But he'll have another chance, hopefully, knock on wood, unless something goes disastrously wrong.
He has never played a playoff game with actual people there, or at least a full arena.
This is true. He'll get a taste of the Garden. Another quote, Porzingis called it a, quote, extremely easy decision to come to Boston and said he's thrilled to play for a, quote, historic and, quote, iconic franchise. Fresh off a career season, he's entering his prime. He's excited to play in Boston. We knew this before the deal happened. It was one of his preferred destinations. It got done at quite the cost, but Porzingis is here. He's excited. Fun. Cool.
Glad he wants to be a Celtic. That's a leg up on, it feels like some other guys on the team.
Yes, agree. When asked about the notion that he could be the missing piece to put Boston over the top, Porzingis grinned and eagerly made his vision clear. That fire that I got from that idea is going to gas me up for the rest of the summer and my time here. He's hyped. Porzingis is hyped to be in Boston.
Yeah, he actually had no idea, and then he was like, "Oh wait, yeah, maybe I can help this team.
We can win a title. Oh my god!" Well, he's
during
so
the
used
Forsberg
to
interview.
He's so used to competing for the Knicks and the Wizards that he's really hyped to.
Well, he did absolutely torch the Celtics in that
this is true.
game after Brogdon was like, "We want the 1 seed." Porzingis came up, lit him up without Kuzma, without Beal, and they beat the Celtics by 20 points.
We can put a positive spin on it. Maybe he saved them from getting the 1 seed and getting bounced by the Heat in the first round.
Well, instead, they just wasted months of our time, but they did get us views.
That's what I was going to say, Sam. It's not a waste. It's not a waste.
Yeah.
Quote from Missoula. I think Kristaps will make our team better, and I think he'll make our locker room better as well. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Sure.
Do we have anything to dispute that?
No, I think I saw some people on Twitter pick out that he'll make our locker room better. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, I can see where that could be a dig. I don't know.
It was just
now
like
that I'm hearing it. Yeah, I'm like,
it was an eyebrow raiser. You know what I'm saying? It's like, But
I feel like if there is any truth to that, we're going to start hearing a lot of things come out. That's what it feels like.
Last thing, this was tweeted by Jay King of The Athletic. Joe Mazzulla said the addition of Kristaps Porzingis and his post-scoring will give the Celtics ways to attack defenses that have given them challenges in the past. Wonder what they could be talking about there. Hey, man.
The zone.
Mystery.
Yeah. It's only been 4 years.
No, in all seriousness, though, I think Kristaps, I mean, I'm not going to pat myself on the back too much here, but I was saying this before it happened. I am very happy that one of my quote unquote crazy trade ideas, or at least trade targets, came to fruition. I was very
I don't even know if your idea was that crazy. Like, you kind of got it all right. At least the first crack you had at it, like it was Brogdon and then a bunch of extra stuff.
Throwing Rob in there was too much.
Yeah, so they got a discount. You were more than fair about your trade, I would say.
Hey, man, I'm happy with it. I think Porzingis is the perfect fit in Boston. I think I said this before the trade was even like a question. I think he's the perfect Al replacement or Al like player around the league. I think he's genuinely that, and maybe that's Brad Stevens' vision too. But I'm very excited for Chris.
Yeah, I think you're nailing that one on the head pretty much. You've got a guy that can shoot threes, a guy that can block shots, a guy that can defend on the perimeter at least a little bit, to help soften the impact of the Horford eventual age out, right? So good for you. Extended him. He's under contract longer than Horford will be, because Horford will be next year. After that season, he'll be a free agent or retire. Who knows what he's going to do?
Probably retired, I would guess.
I think the Horford thing is where you really have to start caring about Grant Williams and keeping him around if that's a transition.
Hey, Sam, that's a great transition. Let's talk about Mr. Grant Williams here. I mean, I would say the Grant Williams news, but it's really the lack thereof. There was no Grant Williams signing.
I saw somebody say Charlotte.
Really?
Not official. Of course. Interest.
On Twitter, you saw it, I assume?
Yeah. Good luck seeing stuff on Twitter.
Grant. Was it Charlotte or Hornets? Oh, yes. Michael Scotto. The Hornets are strongly considering an offer sheet to Grant Williams per Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype. Good call there. It would make sense. Williams has also received interest from the Mavericks. Charlotte is also in discussions with restricted free agent PJ Washington, who is their restricted free agent on a possible deal.
He's essentially their Grant.
Yeah. Charlotte still has how much cap space do they have? Doesn't look like they have a ton of cap space.
Who's better?
Projections. Who's better?
PJ Washington or Grant? You have a better answer than I do on this. I'm going to pull up the PJ Washington basketball reference.
I would probably lean PJ Washington. The defense is definitely questionable, and I think Grant's much better on defense. But I mean, PJ Washington averaged 16 and 5 last season. Like, he's a good player.
Yep, 16-5 career, 13 5.5, 36%, round up to 37 from 3.
I think he's benefited from a larger role in Charlotte, which is that is what it is. I think Grant's a better 3-point shooter and defender. I think PJ Washington is probably the better player overall. But
I think the fit is the more important thing.
Yes, and I would say Grant Williams would fit better on more teams around the league, if that makes sense.
Okay,
so
fine. Yep,
put it that way.
Don't let Grant cook though. Definitely don't do that.
Hey man, looking at teams around the league who still have cap space. This is.
Let's go through and say the ones that don't. Okay.
Spot track.
So Pacers were a big Grant threat. Signed
they still have
Bruce
a little
Brown.
bit. They have $7 million. Not a
That's not anything that's taking him away from the
Only
Celtics.
2 teams have enough to offer Grant an outright contract that wouldn't require some sort of sign and trade. It is the Utah Jazz, $26 million.
Not.
Why?
Because they just did the Collins trade, and I'm pretty sure since then it's been reported they're no longer interested in Grant.
Okay. And the San Antonio Spurs, $20 million.
I could see why the Spurs would be interested.
Yep.
They did not do anything for Austin Reeves, which we kind of bounced around in one of the reactions or the last pod, whichever it was.
That was floated around in the NBA ether. The Hornets thing is interesting. I don't know if they could clear cap space. Let me check it. Like what their most they could potentially get to is on Spot Track. Cap space max. No. Maximum possible cap space, 29 million. So they can get into there if they make some adjusting. It could be they don't bring back PJ Washington, sign Grant instead sort of thing. So they have some room to work with. They could potentially bring back a Grant Williams rather than PJ Washington. So maybe that's an eyes emoji team to look out for.
Charlotte seems like they're overdue to start competing.
Call me crazy.
Don't have a lot of room to make a competitive roster, though.
They're not going to be good. They're just going to be bad again, right?
I mean,
literally
a lot of
every
that
other bottom tier team
on Brandon Miller and LaMelo's health, because I think LaMelo has had in and out of the lineup seasons over the last couple of years.
Even if Brandon Miller is a 20-point per game scorer and Miles Bridges comes back, they're still not a playoff team. They're not.
Celtics, Milwaukee, Miami.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Cleveland.
Yep. New York.
Philly, maybe, depending on how their offseason goes.
Include them for now.
Okay, what's that, 6?
Yep.
Atlanta has to be mentioned.
I think Atlanta's better than them still. I think
Detroit's due, Orlando's due. Yeah, I mean, I'd favor
Toronto,
Orlando and Detroit.
Indiana, Bruce Brown.
Oh, Indiana, yeah.
Obi Toppin, Jarace Walker.
There's a lot of teams that are just around.
Even the Bulls, I think, could be potentially better than the Hornets at that point.
I think the Hornets have a big window of how good they could be.
It's tough. It's tough.
It's
I don't
not
know.
easy.
But
I
anyways,
think you're right. The realistic thing is that they will not be competitive and they will not be that great. But the East is a conference this year that could be a lot of different things.
Pretty good.
A lot of teams could be in that not home court part of the playoffs.
Yes. But Grant Williams still nowhere to be found in the free agency.
Nobody wants Grant.
Mill.
Grant is the ugly duckling. Who could have told
Apparently.
you that? Literally everybody.
Apparently. I'm hoping the Celtics still bring him back at this point. That would be pretty cool for me.
I would like for the Celtics to keep Grant as well, because the piece of Grant that is the most valuable is his role that he's played over the last couple years. Thank you for doing that. It only took off the show. I should have just said it now that we're giving it airtime. But Grant, over the last couple of years, has played the backup to Horford, the understudy. With Porzingis coming in and Horford eventually transitioning out, they're still going to need somebody to fill that role, and it can definitely be him. I think he's done a good job. I think people give Grant a hard time, probably deservedly so because of his personality. Not that it's a bad thing, but he's easy to pick on.
Sure.
And I mean, he does just about all you could ask out of him. You just don't want him to start cooking, because he starts cooking and the ball gets kicked out of bounds.
Let him cook. Come on.
But
okay, maybe not.
Yeah, he's fine as the backup 4. So keep him. If you can keep him for not a lot of money, I would want to sign him to a multi-year deal, which he
15 to 18. 15 to 18.
I'd rather sign him for cheap.
I really think it's Grant or Malcolm, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think if they trade Malcolm,
Malcolm has a contract.
I know he does, but I think they either trade Malcolm and bring Grant back, or they sign and trade Grant and keep Malcolm. In terms of long-term money, I just think that's what probably.
Who cares about long-term money, dude?
For
the way the Celtics roster is put together, literally it all comes off at just about the same time. You talked about earlier in the show. It's Tatum. It's Porzingis.
Not from the tax perspective. Like, I don't care about Wick paying the tax in this scenario. Obviously, it's got to be
even that. With the second apron. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about in terms of roster building, because then there's a lot of restrictions on putting pieces. And I know you're like at that point, well, you'll have 8 players. Like, who cares? You can't make trades without having sending out more. There's tons of restrictions on trading. You don't have the MLE. If you're over a certain apron, your draft picks fall to the end of the round. In some cases, there's a lot of restrictions that go
I didn't know about the draft pick thing at the end of the round. I knew you couldn't trade them.
Sure. Ooh. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying there's a lot of restrictions on this.
Okay. Yeah, I get that.
Yes.
But as far as the Celtics go, the reason why I combat all of this stuff is it does go into roster building. And if you like your core, they're all under contract for quite some time. You don't really have to worry about re-signing anybody. You have the ability to spend on the guys you want to keep, like Tatum, like Brown. Like, you can spend the max on them.
This is a quote. It was previously reported that teams over the second tax apron would be unable to trade their first round picks 7 years in the future.
I knew. I did not know about falling to the end of the round.
According to Tim Bontemps, wait, 7 years in the future. Does that mean you can't trade the picks that are 7 years or more out, or you can't trade them until 7 years in the future? Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, no. There. You can't. So today you can't trade 2030.
Okay, so it's just one more year in than the rest of the league. According to Tim Bontemps and Woj, if those teams continue to exceed the second apron twice in the following 4 years, their draft pick will fall to the end of the first round. So there's a lot that goes into it. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I don't know how the players union agreed to that.
That's crazy. In terms of long-term money,
because these guys are going to start to get screwed. This isn't like a new take. It's just like, okay, the best, and we're gonna get into it when we start talking about the free agency, where guys have ended up, what they've gotten paid. These contracts may turn out to look terrible because can you really afford to pay a Fred VanVleet a lot of money? No. Is Fred VanVleet the guy you want to lose draft picks over to have your draft pick go to number 30? Oh, no.
The Rockets won't be a cap team, even close. Not even close.
Okay, fine. But if they decide they want to trade Fred VanVleet, who's trading you for him? Literally no one.
No, they better be happy with him. We mentioned Malcolm Brogdon. There is some Malcolm Brogdon news. The Clippers re-engaged the Celtics on a potential Malcolm Brogdon trade, per Jake Fisher of Yahoo Sports, friend of the show. The Clippers nearly satisfied their long. It's so funny. I have to say it every time, right? I feel like I'm legally obligated. to say
Fisher
this
is
for
one
the
of my
show.
favorite insiders, though. Even like aside
He's
from him
awesome.
being on our show one time way back when,
He's dope.
I think his reporting is good. I think the news he puts out is good. I think it's reliable. So
Mhm.
I like it. I think it gives you a
And
good
his
amount of
podcast,
content.
his pod is called "Please Don't Aggregate This," which is very funny.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. The Clippers nearly satisfied their long-held wishes for a better point guard play by landing Malcolm Brogdon in a 3-team deal with Boston and Washington, but a poor medical evaluation nixed the deal. Los Angeles even re-engaged Boston about acquiring Brogdon in recent days, sources said. Sam, what would you tell the Clippers? Please enlighten me.
I would say go take a toothpick, stick it underneath your toenail, and kick a wall.
That is unbelievably graphic, and I love
Yeah.
it. That was
Yeah,
amazing.
that's what I would say on the phone.
Okay.
I would say don't ever call me again. I would say lose my number.
Now,
I would say I'm going to get a restraining order.
would you swallow the pride if you got a good deal?
What's a good deal?
Realistically, well, looking like they do have good pieces that
Is there
the Celtics
anything on
could
the
potentially
Clippers you
want.
really would rather have than Brogdon? Well, you maybe.
I think Norm Powell is a question. I think he's a really good player. He fits the wing a little bit better. I think
How tall is Norm Powell? 6'4"?
Let me look for you. Hold up. I'm pulling up the payroll. He is 6'3". He's 6'3",
Okay,
so
so
he's a smaller wing.
He's smaller than Brogdon.
Would you? I mean,
He's
would you
smaller than
rather have
Brogdon,
like?
and he's going to pass less. Like it doesn't matter what position he plays at that point. He's just small.
You're right.
Like, you know.
I don't know. I question whether or not I'd rather have two of their wings over Brogdon. Realistically, maybe not, but I don't know.
I think we saw something today that it's somewhat realistic that they're going to bring back Brogdon. I forget who put it out. Please do not ask because I don't know. I swear I saw on Twitter like the Celtics are, while they're exploring Brogdon trades, they're not in any kind of rush to offload him or have a feeling that they have to get rid of him. So I'm not really sure that they burned their bridges with him, which was the big concern for me after the trade news came out. And if he's cool with being a Celtic, there's not a glaring reason to trade him. Unless you're really like making out, you know. You just can't afford it. You have two guards that are really good right now, Derrick White and Malcolm Brogdon. You don't have the third guy that's the safety net anymore. You got rid of Smart. And the story really was they can afford to trade one, and they did. So you can't trade another because who are you going with after that? Pat Bev's gone. There was rumors that they were going to go after Pat Bev, and he's a Sixer. So
Bobby Kravitsky, friend of the show, wrote something along the lines of perhaps the organization's already decided having Tatum and Brown on Supermax extensions, which would account for roughly 70% of their salary cap, is untenable, and that's shaping their current approach. So while restrictive, it's more acceptable to exceed the second apron. Otherwise, it's best to avoid doing so, given the penalties become more severe, which further encumber roster building efforts. And if that's and if the Celtics go with that approach, it's a safe bet to assume at least one of Williams and Brogdon won't be back for opening night. So based on like the roster building things, it sounds like it would make most sense for the Celtics to only bring one of those guys back. That's the only reason I would say like it's potential, like maybe you could, consider potential Brogdon trades, but at that point you would have to get a serviceable guard back in the deal, which is, and maybe that's like, I don't know. I was going to say Monte Morris, but he got traded.
This CBA stuff is not something I know how to react to just yet. At least from a Celtics perspective. A general perspective, yeah. You don't want to pay guys that you don't have to pay, especially league-wide. These guys get monster deals. Like, it's going to handicap not just you, but your ability to make trades and teams' interest in these players and their ability to actually, get on rosters going forward. With the Celtics, with a team that has the bulk of its talent just locked up for years, how much does it really matter? I don't know yet. But I learned about the draft pick thing today, so
there's a lot of restrictions.
But you hope the Celtics pick is number 30 anyway.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Might as well. Last Celtics thing we do have is we talked about Celtics point guards. Derrick White decided to
He looks fly. He's bald.
he does. Derrick White decided, okay, I'm getting clowned for my hairline. You know what, buddy? What hairline?
It's a good move.
He
looks
he
good.
chopped it.
I mean, this is
He
a bad
said
picture,
goodbye.
but the picture that he was more ready for looks
Mhm.
good. Not that one. That one. Yeah,
Right
that
here.
pick goes hard.
Look at him. Wow. It's phenomenal. I love it so much. He just said goodbye. He just went from okay, got this and no more. I just thought this was funny.
Think it looks
wanted
good.
to
I am pro
wanted
bald
to-
Derrick White.
Derrick White. I think
I
made
think
this
as
joke
long as you
recently.
have a beard, then you can be bald.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bald, no beard is well. That's so
If you just have no hair, like you're just a thumb.
sad.
Is there anybody on the team that? Oh,
Brother. You're just I have a picture of Jordan Walsh on the screen because Jordan Walsh has alopecia and can't grow hair.
okay, but that's not by choice.
I'm crying. If you have no hair anywhere, you're just a thumb.
Well,
Oh.
I'm sure his agents will get back to us about an appearance.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And I didn't even. I forgot he was on the team. Or I'd say I forgot he was bald.
That's amazing. But yes, Derrick White shaved his head. I wanted to bring it up. I just thought it was funny.
I think it looks fly.
But moving on to the NBA section of the show, we are going to go over. Let me rephrase.
We're going to do
Rather
a
than
fun way of recapping free agency.
Exactly. Rather than go over literally every single move that happened, which would be impossible, Sam and I are going to rank. Let me put the thing up here. The 5 best and 5 worst free agency deals that went down on days 1 and 2. We're going to use, or I'm going to use at least, Spot Track. Spot Track has a free agency tracker. I will link it to you in the chat.
No, you don't have to. I got it.
Are you sure?
Yes.
And you can sort by value. You can sort by average salary. You can search by max value. You can search by sort by years. It's a very, very good tool. Very good tool. So, Sam, would you like to do best or worst?
Let's start with the best.
Okay.
I think the worst will be more fun.
You want first pick in the best or the worst draft?
Best.
Okay, so you want to go first here.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, baby.
Best signing, best value, Austin Reeves. Austin
Yes.
Reeves, 4-year, $56 million deal to stay with the Lakers. Nobody bullied them into paying him more money. He was expected to garner a big interest, I don't know.
A lot of interest from other
interest,
teams with
yeah.
cap space.
Big market. That's what I was
There's
going
the
for.
word.
Maybe a big contract. But instead, he makes less than, what is that? Just under 15 million a year?
14 million a year. Just over
14 million a year.
Yeah.
You know who that's less money than? Maybe Grant Williams. Who would you rather have?
This is true. This is true. All right. Do I get 2 now?
Yes.
All right. First one. Let me write yours here. Actually,
Okay.
I'll write yours down. So Sam drafted Austin Reeves first.
Oh, I know what one of your first 2 picks will be.
Oh no! Now I have pressure because I don't know if you're gonna say it or not. Oh, I know who you're thinking. I just had my first pick and I lost it. Oh, Herb Jones. That is
Okay.
my first pick. A little
Is
bit
he
out
on
of
the
nowhere.
same contract? I believe he is.
Very similar one. Herb Jones is set to make. I'm
He's
losing
on
it
the
again.
same contract.
Yes, $14.062 million a year for an All-NBA caliber defender who is going to be a part of their core. That's a phenomenal contract for Herb Jones. Great deal.
I agree.
I know who you think I'm going to go with, and a part of me just wants to. I'll just go with Javon Carter because I love Javon
Yeah,
Carter. Is
that's
that who
what
you
I thought it was. Yeah.
I love Javon Carter. Javon Carter is going to be absolutely awesome for the Bulls. And not only was it a great contract value-wise, he makes. Let me find it here quick. It's a $20 million deal for 4 years, I believe. Yep, 4 years, 3 years, $20 million, 6.6 a season. They need a point guard. They need somebody who can run the offense a little bit. They need shooters. They need 3-point shooting. He shot 42% last year. He's going to have a lot of opportunities in Chicago. I think he's going to have a really good season. I think he could average like 13 and 6 for them. He's a very good player.
Yeah, I think he's at least a good value player, right? It's not a very expensive contract. You have a lot of potential there with the amount of flexibility he has to play. He's not going to have a really tight, short leash like he would in Milwaukee playing alongside Giannis in a team that's supposed to be one of the top in the league. Instead, he's going to be able to be more free, take more risks, and maybe flourish. So that's a good pickup by them at the very least.
Yeah, agree.
Okay, now I've got two.
Yes.
My first of the two might be a bit strange. I think Gabe Vincent's a good value pick too.
I agree. That's a great pick. That was going to be on my board.
I think he was a need for the Lakers. They have a decent guard core now with D'Angelo Russell coming back too, even though he's making 18.5. Not the best. Not terrible considering what other guys are going to be getting. But they lose Schroeder. They bring in Gabe Vincent, who plays a bit more defense and is a bit more versatile of a player in the terms of the roles he can play. Obviously had a good playoff run, killed the Celtics, and yeah, $11 million a year for that guy to come off your bench isn't bad.
Not at all.
Especially since he doesn't need the ball as a guard.
Yep. Agree. You get another one here, back to back.
Okay. Dante DiVincenzo.
Has he signed?
He just signed with the Knicks, 4 years, $50 million.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that actually going on your list?
Yeah, I'll put it on my list.
All right.
It's a good contract.
Breaking news on the pod.
It's all these teams I don't like. They're getting guys.
Oh, I was so confused. I'm like, he hasn't signed yet.
Yep. Look at that.
Down.
How about that timing? I think DiVincenzo had a pretty good season with Golden State. He was able to, again, fill in a bunch of roles for them with the Knicks team that kind of has their dominant scoring options in place.
I was confused as to how the Knicks could afford that, but they traded Top and they freed up some space.
Yeah. He's getting what? 13-ish million a year. Not bad. Not bad for a guy that started games for the Warriors, played big roles for the Warriors.
Shot really well.
On a $4.5 million contract, had good shooting splits.
He'll probably start for them. We think?
Brunson, Hart, RJ.
Hart didn't start last year.
Okay, well maybe
Quentin Grimes starts most of last year. Do you start DiVincenzo or Quentin Grimes? Like they're similar players.
I would probably do DiVincenzo then.
Me too. We'll see.
Okay, so Brunson, DiVincenzo, Barrett, Randall,
Robinson.
Yeah.
It's not bad. Hard off the bench, quickly off the bench.
Knicks get better.
Hartenstein off the bench. That is a good deal.
Hartenstein's a dog. But yeah, I picked DiVincenzo.
Alrighty, my turn. Draymond Green.
Yep.
Great value for the Warriors. Great. I mean,
good value only for the Warriors.
Yes, but that's who we signed with. So that's what counts. 25 million, 4 seasons, 100 mil total. He is an all-star caliber player. You cannot stress the importance he has to that organization. Did you see the TikTok of him picking teams? There's a TikTok and it was like, pick your team. It gives you a team around the league and you have to pick a player for the team. The Wizards pop up. He just stops for like 5 seconds. He goes, he starts laughing. He goes, who's down in Washington still? I'll pick Kuzma. And this was before Kuzma even signed.
Oh no.
Very funny. Very funny. My second value pick. Let me peruse and make sure.
Your second set of selections. It's actually your third pick. We'll do a starting 5.
Sorry. Yes. No, this is my 4th pick. I picked Herb Jones, Javon Carter, Draymond Green. It's my 4th.
Oh, yes, you did. My
4th pick. Man, this is tough. I have a couple that I'm like flipping between, and I'm trying to figure out. It's another one you dislike. Josh Richardson for the minimum is such good value. I'm sorry. It sucks
that
because
broke my heart.
It sucks because the Celtics had some interest in there too. Minimum contract.
For the
Josh
minimum
Richardson.
they could have afforded him, dude. That sucks. That's my guy, Jay Rich.
It sounds like maybe the interest wasn't reciprocated as much because he got traded and like that was a potential thing. Great
Miami
value.
traded him.
What do you mean?
No?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he was in the Butler deal. Who knows? Who knows what happens? He's back in Miami. Minimum contract. Phenomenal deal. But yes.
It is a good deal. Miami gets another free guy. That's going to be good for them. He's a good player. He was great on the Celtics. Derrick White's better. But he was great on the Celtics. He was a real bright spot in the first half of that 21-22 season. where they couldn't seem to find any sort of consistency. I was really sad to see him go, and
Yep.
I was hoping he would come back. Went to Miami. Good pickup for them. All right, back to me. Who do I pick?
Scrolling through the list.
I actually feel like this is a weird one. I think Seth Curry might be a good value deal for Dallas. He didn't do anything for Brooklyn last year, but he's only making $4.5 million in a situation where he can play primarily off the ball. He was pretty decent for the Nets when they had a lot of dominant ball handlers playing alongside Kyrie, Durant, and of course Harden, as somebody sets off a firework. I think that's a good fit for a player like Seth Curry, who's going to just primarily be a spot up, off picks, off the ball movement guy, to be a bailout safety valve for two ball dominant guards in Kyrie and Luka. It's a good fit for him. They could get good production out of him for only $4.5 million.
Mhm.
And I believe they still have the full MLE after Kyrie kind of took a little pay cut in the first year.
Pay cut.
So that's a good pickup
Yes.
for them. Oh boy, I'm scrolling up towards the top here to look for value.
Yeah, man.
Let's see.
Gotta figure it out.
I almost sneaky like the Kobe White signing too.
I was
$11 million.
just looking at that. Yeah.
I mean, you really can't go wrong with that. It's just another. It's a
Agreed.
tradable
It's young.
contract at the very least. $11
Get a
million
great-
is a very good deal in the new CBA. It's going to be valuable. It's what 1/6 of a max deal now.
Yeah, he had a great end to last season too. Phenomenal end to last season.
At the very least, they can at least move that. Teams will take on that deal. That's what I think might actually give it the value because I don't know. They don't have Lonzo. They do need guards on that team because he's just not going to play. He can't.
Last 15 games of this past season, he played 27.6 minutes a night, 13.6 points, 3.9 rebounds, 4.9 assists, only 1.7 turnovers, 52.3% from the field, 44.2% from three. Great end to the season for Kobe White.
Thank
Good
you
value.
for the spot track list. It's very helpful.
It's elite, right?
Yes.
I'm going to
Jalen
ask
Brown.
you, is this real?
Nope, it is not.
Not real. Not real.
Nope. It's one of those fake notifications
Yes.
you get from Twitter.
Yes.
18-year, $1.3 billion.
Yes, thank you for that. I'm gonna give my last pick, and you have to tell me if it's cheating, and I can switch it if it's cheating. Can I just pick every single Suns minimum contract they did? Because they
not
had
cheating because I would not have picked them.
yeah. I mean they just got so many good players. Like
That's what happens when you have a top-heavy roster. All these guys are like, oh, free competitive season.
Every single one of these players is signed for under $3 million next season. Damian Lee, Drew Eubanks, Keita Bates-Diop, Chimezie Metu, Josh Okogie, Yuta Watanabe.
Yeah, they've
It's
got more than just three guys now.
That's crazy. That is crazy. And also, I know you don't like it. Lakers got a very similar thing. Austin Reeves, Hachimura,
Bunch of free guys for the Lakers.
Vincent, all solid.
Wow.
Cam Reddish to the Lakers, Jackson Hayes to the Lakers, Torian Prince to the Lakers.
I think we all need to calm down about both Reddish and Hayes as a collective, even before this, because there's a reason why they just don't stick with teams.
But
I mean,
the past
Pelicans
2
had a
seasons,
chance to offer Hayes the qualifying offer, and they just didn't.
But the past 2 seasons, you've seen players who had middling value go to the Lakers and get better. Malik Monk did it. Played great. It was meh in Charlotte. Went to Lakers, had a great season, signed a big contract.
Did he have a good season for the Lakers? I truly don't remember. I'm not
Absolutely.
challenging you. I just know he really broke out with the Kings.
Malik Monk is the reason he got that contract with the Kings because of the year he had with the Lakers. Malik Monk this past with the Lakers, he averaged 13.8 points on 47-39.
Yeah,
great
season. You're right.
Better season than when he technically had with the Kings. And another example this year, Lonnie Walker didn't catch on with the Spurs, went to LA, had a real good season with them.
Do you have a good season or a good game?
Lonnie Walker had a solid season, better than what he did in San Antonio. He averaged 11.7, 1.9 rebounds, 1 assists, 45 from the field, 36.5 from three. He never found his shot or efficiency in San Antonio. So I think there's hope for Reddish and Hayes. Both can play.
I hope not. I wish them the worst.
Fair.
All right. First pick. Worst contracts.
Time for the real fun.
This
worst
is
contract.
An easy 1-1.
Do it.
Well, it's your pick. You're first.
Oh, you're right. Oh, Jeremy Grant. I don't care. Yeah, I thought you were going to challenge me and say FEV.
No.
Jeremy Grant's the worst. Jeremy Grant, oh my God. It was bad when he signed it. And now that they're like, yeah, we'll bring him back still,
doubled
even
down
though
on it.
Dame wants out. Oh my God. That is so much long-term money. It is the most, is it the most total value contract on a deal that was signed?
It has the total value as at the top, and he's in the top couple.
He is the
of
most
salary.
Yes,
average
it was the
salary.
most money that somebody got yesterday total.
Yep.
Like
Good
5
luck.
years,
Good luck,
$160 million. That is crazy.
Like, I'd rather just
money.
sit on that money with these young guys and then sign the right guy when the time comes.
Agree.
Like,
Agree.
who
That's
cares?
terrible.
If Dame's not going to be on your team anymore, then okay, fine. Why pay Jeremy Grant not only a bad amount of money for a bad amount of time? Terrible.
Yeah.
With the new
Terrible.
CBA that has everyone in a bind, you're going to have a upper tier role player on a $30 million deal for 5 years as he ages. And
I
he
would
is only
rather
29,
pay-
but he's going to be what, 34 by the time they're still paying him $32 million? Is he really going to be effective in that 34-year-old season?
I'd rather pay Aaron Gordon $30 million than Jeremy Grant, right?
Yeah,
Like,
probably. Terrible signing, and we
I
were
don't
all
know.
scratching our heads, and then they doubled down when Dame said he doesn't want to play there anymore. All right,
nuts.
this was essentially the
1-2 back-to-back easy.
1-2. Fred VanVleet, $42 million, almost 43 average salary over 3 seasons to play for the Rockets. Now they do have room to play around with money, but at the same time, I would say the same thing I said about Portland. You have a young core. Why screw around and tie up all that money now when maybe you get something exciting out of this team and you could be like, oh, next year player X is available and he could add something to this team and so could player Y. We can pay both of them at decent salaries. No, it's tied up with Fred VanVleet, who shoots 40-ish% from the field. Great. Good job, Houston, after you just drafted a point guard. Good job. Second worst, Cam Johnson. I hate that. $27 million over 4 years. Oof.
That's a lot of money.
A lot of money. At 27, so he's going to be 31 at the end of this deal.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you told me that he got some good numbers when he joined Brooklyn. Ever since he
was
got
solid.
traded away, he was pretty solid, so he's kind of earned it, but it's very tough for me to imagine them paying Cam Johnson $27 million when Draymond Green's making $25 million, Kuzma's making less than him, Brook Lopez. I mean, just let's keep going down the list. All these guys that were on the good draft. Let's see Austin Reeves. Who would you rather pay? Tough for the Nets.
I agree.
They're a bigger market. Like, they're a respectable market. They can get free agents to go play there. Why tie up them? I mean, I guess you want to keep them because you gave up KD.
They like them, like the guys. Also, we didn't go over this. The Knicks are just Villanova now. Brunson,
they are.
Enzo, and Hart. That's kind of cool.
They won 2 national championships together.
Bad contracts are kind of tough to come by now. There weren't too many awful deals. I will go to Dylan Brooks though. $20 million for Dylan Brooks is ridiculous. That's so much money. Like,
I don't know if
what?
the $20 million itself is the bad part of that. I think it's the 4 years is the bad.
4
bad part
years.
of that.
What do we do? Like, you see so many teams around the league. So many of these teams like Brook Lopez, 2-year deal, short term, like good. Karis LeVert, 2-year deal. Dennis Schroeder, 2-year deal. You know, Joe Ingles, a lot of money, 2-year deal. 4 years, Dylan Brooks. That's bad.
Dylan Brooks, who everyone was saying to get ready to learn Chinese, buddy. He is the player that goes along with the. Well, actually, technically, it was made for Kyrie, but the meme was probably most used for Dylan Brooks in the playoffs after just a meltdown after calling out LeBron. Okay, you have another pick.
Yes, sneaky. Just because I don't really like him, Mo Wagner. Why is he getting $8 million a season? He's not like
because his brother's a good player.
Yeah, I don't think he's on that. Maybe this is just me being a hater. He put up okay numbers. He averaged 10 points, 4.5 rebounds, 50% from the field, 31 from 3. Why? Why are we paying him $8 million, Warren? Though I think that's dumb. I just don't think it's a good contract. Back. And he's a rat. So
and he is on the rat list.
Mo Wagner goes there.
Another rat, Max Strus. 15.6 a year for 4 seasons. You may be saying $15 million is not that bad. No, it's not. But when your game mostly hinges on one skill, which is shooting, which can come and go, you could very well turn into Duncan Robinson, who's just hanging out in Miami making $20 million a season.
Better.
And the fan base cannot wait to get rid of because he's tying up so much money. The contract's less, but it is longer. And who knows? It could turn out to be a very good contract, but I think it could go either way. I think the length is tough. These longer contracts with the new CBA are very difficult for me.
No, I see
With
it.
that being said, Jakob Poeltl, and you're going to disagree. I just think, and again, 4 years, $20 million. Are you trading for Poeltl on that contract with 4 years on it? I don't think he's going to finish that whole deal with Toronto. Toronto's going nowhere.
I think it's a fine value for Poeltl, but not for the Raptors. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, I don't think they should have been the one to give it to him.
All right. 2 from you and then 1 from me, and we're done.
Does it have to be from free agency, or can it be a contract from before?
No,
can
it's
I just
new ones.
So I can't use Vucevic?
Oh no, that counts. That
Okay.
counts
So I
because he
can
was going to be a free agent.
Yeah, no, I don't mean like a contract currently under thing. Like, yeah, Vucevic, it's the exact same as Toronto. Like, it's a fine value for Vucevic. The Bulls shouldn't be paying.
Yeah, it does nothing.
Exactly. It's not going to move the needle.
Doesn't move the needle.
My last pick of the bad contracts draft, man. It was about to be Jock Lawndale. It was going to be Jock Lawndale until they released that it was just the first year guaranteed. Man, part of me wants to go Bruce Brown, but I really like Bruce Brown.
Well, Bruce Brown, it's a team option on the second year.
Yeah, so there's some flexibility there. I'll be rude. I really like this player just because I think he's funny. Why is DeAndre Jordan still getting contracts? For what?
He's got a ring, buddy.
I know, but like, just why? No, really though, I will go with. There really weren't too many terrible contracts. This is
I've got my last pick.
Rui Hachimura.
That was going to be my last pick.
Well, get sniped, buddy. I think he's a good player. 17 mil a season just seems a little bit steep. That's just a little bit steep for me. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe he'll be fine for Lakers. That's a lot of money though. So I'll steal Sam's last pick there. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't want to say Schroeder. It's only 12.7 for 2 years. Not the worst.
Not terrible.
Niang's only on 8 million. A lot of these lower.
That's what I'm saying.
Lower contracts are not that bad.
Not terrible.
Dwight Powell, 3 for 12, and he plays a good amount of minutes. He is older.
They like him too there. They really like him there.
D'Angelo Russell's only 2 years.
You can go Kuz. Kuz, no?
I don't know if that Kuzma one's too bad. Especially with, like, I would say that's a tradable contract.
Sure.
Sure. I don't know, man.
It's tough. There weren't too many bad deals. Kyrie's not making your list? Just for the principle.
Well, the Kyrie deal is funny because it kind of helped them in the first year, so I can't say it's the worst deal.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I would say that 3 years of Kyrie is interesting.
You could throw a D'Lo on there.
Yeah, I think I'll go D'Lo, even though it's only 2 years. It's a okay chunk of your salary, but they're in the same situation as the Celtics now, where their bigger stars and main core is locked up long term. So, do you really need to worry about player X making 17, 18 million? No. Yeah,
agree. Also, honorable mention for the good contracts list. Russ at $4 million a season is really good.
Oh, Russ is a good one. He just had a really good close to the season with the Clippers.
Russell Westbrook is getting paid
same point in their career.
Yeah, right. Russell Westbrook is getting paid $4 million a season to average 16, 5, and 7.5. like it's really
good value for the Clippers. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Pat Bev's probably a decent contract too.
Not bad. I will say I did see a tweet. Bobby Koritsky sent it to our group chat and said the tweet was from. I'm just gonna go find it now. Michael Levin of. He's just like a big Twitter personality, TV writer. Pat Bev and PJ Tucker snarling at the opposing bench while they get beat by the first step of anyone born after the Berlin Wall fell. Gonna need some athletes.
Philly might be in trouble.
Yeah, who knows?
The Harden stuff came out after our last pod, right?
Oh, did it? Have we not talked Harden?
I don't know if we talked Harden yet.
Maybe we haven't. Well, let's transition into James Harden then.
Yeah, get ready.
James Harden wants goodbye.
Get ridiculed, buddy.
In the Clippers, buddy.
James Harden's a loser. James Harden opted into the final year of his contract just to say trade me. You know what the best part about free agency is? You can sign wherever you would like. Now, you might not make $36.5 million or $35.5 million a year, but
Yes.
you can play wherever you would like. So you can't really have your cake and eat it too. They should
Unless
really
you're
clap
James
down on
Harden.
that. It's nonsense. Oh, he did pretend to be fat.
Clippers and the Knicks seem like the most likely teams. I think he probably ends up with the Clippers, is what it is.
They should send him to Siberia. Him and Dame.
Yeah.
Dame officially requested the trade today after
we can
2 months
we'll briefly
of a big circle jerk. Will he leave? Will he not leave?
Harden
What
can
will
be
the
brief.
Blazers do to keep him interested? And the answer was paid Jeremy Grant the entire salary cap.
Well, the best
so
part about that is they didn't have to honor
and then
it. Like
they didn't have to honor it, and they still did. But now Dame said, trade me to Miami. That is the team I want to play for. Best thing about that, no trade clause. Get ready to learn Siberian, buddy.
Joe
That's where I'm
Cronin was
sending you.
like, GM was like, well, we'll trade you where we want.
W. Joe Cronin.
Ramona
Good for
Shelburne.
him.
Ramona Shelburne tweeting out, Dame has a lot of respect for the Spurs. Woj pointing out that he doesn't have a no trade clause. Spurs, eyes emoji, question mark maybe for Dame. Now,
Yeah, Dame who doesn't want to play with young players.
can I make you mad on the podcast?
Sure. It's the whole point.
Marcus Smart, Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum. Fit's not great. Dame, Tatum, and Porzingis. I'm not saying they should do it. I'm just saying that sounds very fun. Do you know what I'm saying?
Would you rather pay $60 million?
For the future, Jalen. I'm not completely advocating it for it. But do I think it makes them a better team right now? Yes.
I don't think it moves. I don't think it makes a difference. I think the Porzingis thing makes more of a difference than that.
I think Dame instead of Jalen would make them a better basketball team.
I think Dame will start getting attacked in the playoffs on defense.
Maybe.
He's not Kemba. Make no mistake. He's not.
No.
He is getting
He's
old.
not a good defender.
He's a young guard. He's a small guard that relies on athleticism to get to the rim. He obviously can shoot.
Also, for what it's worth, Dame's contract will end 1 year before Jalen's extension does.
Okay, I'd rather have the extension still.
I'm not advocating for it. I'm not saying they should do it. I'm just saying post Porzingis trade. Post Porzingis trade, I think it's a lot more intriguing at the very least. But yeah, Dame wants out. The Nets and the Heat were first name dropped as potential destinations. Then it was like, nope, Miami. I want to go to Miami. And then Miami was like, we don't want to trade Caleb Martin in the deal. Which is just like, if that could, guys,
good for them. Yeah, stand your ground, Miami.
I don't know. Maybe by the time we are putting this out, Dame is a Heat.
Dame's a loser. He waited like 2 months just to do the thing that everyone knew he was going to do anyway.
Yeah. All right. That being said, Portland, Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, Shaden Sharp,
plus whatever
draft picks, whatever return, gonna be good. Again, why'd they release Trendon Watford though? That's
and Jeremy Grant. Don't forget him.
True. They will have Jeremy Grant. I saw something along the lines of, I forget where I saw this. I think Jake Fisher reported this. The Trailblazers are looking for a third team to get involved to take on Tyler Hero's salary.
See, I don't know if the Tyler Hero contract's that bad.
It's not, but like, do you want to roll out Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, Shaden Sharp, Tyler Hero? That's a lot of guards.
I understand from them. But, like, I don't know how hard it should be to get a team to take Hero
I think
back.
the Spurs. If I'm the Spurs.
Celtics, would you rather have Brogdon or Hero? You personally. I'm just curious.
Smirking.
No, I'm genuinely curious.
Tyler Hero.
Okay.
I think Tyler Hero's a better player.
I don't think it's a crazy question to ask. Both guys have won 6 Man of the Year. Hero lost all value in Miami because they just he lost all value to the Heat because they just made a finals run without him. That being said, he was injured in the last 2 playoffs that they were in.
So, I mean, at that point, though, why would Portland want Brogdon?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying,
I don't know in general.
I'm just thinking, like, because I was like, well, what is Hero's value? Because, like, why is it that hard to get a team to take him on? I don't think he's the best. I think he's annoying. I think his stupid outfits suck. But he's like 23.
It's like the pool contract.
Yeah, it's like whatever, I guess. I don't know. I don't think it's terrible.
It is weird. I do know what you're saying. Shall we rat list it up and get on out of here,
Rat
Sam?
list it up. Yeah, I'm ready.
Would you like to go first for the
Yes.
rat list? Don't do it.
No, I'm not
Oh.
doing what you think I'm doing.
Oh, okay. Go ahead then.
Rat list. Why does it look like this?
I had the wrong one.
Rat list Elon.
Yes.
Elon has ruined Twitter officially. So people were really mad when Elon bought Twitter, and he took him a really long time to piss me off officially. I didn't like the check mark thing, of course, but I mean, what are you going to do? Then today, you can only refresh Twitter so many times. Isn't that the whole point of Twitter is to read news? And
you saw his tweet,
gatekeep
right?
how many? Yeah, it was like if you pay for Twitter Blue, you can read 6,000 posts a day. If you don't, then you can read 600 posts a day.
The Rockets have agreed to a 1-year, $6 million deal with Jeff Green.
Oh, Jeff Green goes back to Houston.
Yeah. It's weird. Yeah, you can only see X amount of tweets. Don't worry though, Sam. He said it's improving from 800 to 600 or 600 to 800. Also, people who pay can see 10 times the amount as people who do, like that's just so shitty.
The whole point of Twitter, I mean, first of all, double rat list for doing this during free agency.
Yeah, that's just
do this in August or September.
What a rat.
Don't do this during like a massive Twitter news cycle.
Elon sucks.
I mean, this is terrible for people that are doing news. How the hell are you supposed to find your stories?
Elon got 308,000 quote tweets. People are
I
mad.
don't know why. How does that make your product better? Genuinely, how does that make that more user friendly for Twitter? From an objective standpoint, if you hate the guy.
It's temporary because they were having too much like lag issues, but still ratless.
Lag issues. Twitter's never had this.
No. Rat list. So I played golf today. I can't just rat list something. It needs a story. It needs an explanation. I played golf today. Awful. Was terrible. Didn't play well. Had fun though because it's a course I'd never played before. It was with our friend Danny and a couple of his buddies. It was good. At the turn, Danny and I ordered chicken Caesar wraps. Good. They were good.
Mm-hmm.
Dressing was a little light, but they were good. They did not cut the chicken Caesar wraps. It was just like a burrito.
So you had a burrito.
Yeah.
I
it was
prefer
just
that.
Like, what? Why?
Yeah. Because if you have two,
it was also falling apart. It was crumbling. It was.
If you have it cut in half, it falls apart at the openings.
How are you eating your wraps?
You eat one half at a time, so the other half sits on the plate, and when you pick it up, the stuff falls out of the open end.
Not if it's wrapped in tinfoil like a good wrap.
Oh, no, I don't get wraps like that.
Mine wasn't wrapped in tinfoil, but I'm saying like that's how you do it. You're supposed to wrap the wrap in tinfoil, cut it in half.
I don't know if I've ever had a wrap like that, except burritos.
What? Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. No. Or paper or something. Anyways, yeah, ratless that. That being said, very good. It was a good Caesar wrap. Needed a little more dressing, but I was good. Also, ratless. Can't really ratless myself. I can ratless the rough at golf. Ratless the rough at golf. I went to hit a shot. The rough was so thick that I topped the ball, and everyone we were looking forward. It went into the ground because it was a little bit wet. Like I just put the ball in the ground. I topped it perfectly where the ball didn't move at all. The rough was tough today, and it's very hilly course, so I was going up and down. I shot a 113 after shooting a 91 yesterday. Terrible, bad day. Anyways,
ratless golf.
No,
yeah, I made you wait.
No,
golf.
Wrong.
First team all overrated. Golf. And here's why. Let me explain why.
And I have a counterpoint when you're done.
I know. The counterpoint is I'm not good at golf. Very true.
No, it's more in depth, but yes, go ahead.
Golf takes far too long to play. Golf, there's a lot of waiting. Of course, if you're behind somebody like the group I played with, we play slow because we're not good. You have to wait for the group in front of you. You have to wait for your people you're playing with. Mm-hmm. You're just standing there. I'd rather waste my day away playing Xbox. I'd rather go play basketball.
Have a good time.
You have your good time play. Literally, just go sit and watch like
you took
YouTube
carts,
videos.
right? You took carts, right?
Yeah, we took a cart.
I'm just. I think it's fun. It's nice to stay outside. I think the thing about golf, you can be bad and still enjoy golf. I'm bad and still enjoy golf. You can't not know how to play and still enjoy golf. Has you ever played before?
Only on like Xbox.
Okay, so no, that's not even close to the same thing. If you don't know how to play golf, you're not going to have fun, right? The reason I know how to play golf is because my dad and my grandpa love golf, so we took like lessons as a kid, like briefly. So like at least I'm not good, but I know how to play. And so because I know how to play, I enjoy it more, even though I'm bad. If you don't know how to play and you're just messing around for 5 hours, it's not going to be fun. So I understand why it's not.
I'd rather go play poker. I'd literally rather go and play blackjack.
We're going to golf this summer, though. I'm going to make you go golfing with me. Yeah, tough.
Golfing.
Tough,
man.
buddy. Get ready to learn the greens, buddy. How'd you shoot? Oh, you didn't keep score. Hey, come on.
I started keeping score, and then I
clubs
just
you
said,
use?
that's enough of that.
Where'd you get on the
Rentals.
first hole?
I didn't even finish. I literally didn't finish.
Well, I
was
had
a
a 10
mess.
on a hole today, so it can't be much worse.
Yeah, I definitely did that.
Happens. It happens. That's all I got, though. I didn't have many ratless today. I didn't have a crazy day.
No rat. No.
Oh,
Pretty good day.
I do have one more. So I don't know if you're familiar with golf etiquette at all, but generally, don't talk when someone's swinging. That's it. I'm sure you know that, right? Someone's swinging, you shut up. These guys went to the tee box directly next to ours. So like we're one hole here hitting one way and they're another hole on the opposite side of the fence hitting the other way. They're just yelling. They are just yelling. They're like, they said something along the lines of like, what do you guys want to do later? Just chill. And then they go, chillin', I choose you, like in sync, like Pokemon or whatever, like just randomly. And so Danny is sitting at the ball ready to hit and he hears them do that and he just starts dying laughing. He goes, I gotta step off. I gotta wait a second. And so we spent like 5 minutes at the tee box trying to hit and laughing because these guys are just like talking about random shit.
At least it made
like,
you laugh.
But the thing is, they had to drive by us to get to the tee box, so they knew we were hitting right there. Yeah, ratless talking in the tee box. That's all I got, though. Anything else for you today?
Stupid. Yeah.
No, we'll have a nice round at some point. Did you stop at the turn? Did you stop at the?
We played 9 holes.
Okay, sure. Oh, you didn't even golf that long. Would you spend 3 hours out there max?
I don't know. Whatever. Many hours too long.
9 hours is like 9 holes is like 2.5 hours.
That's a long time.
Come on. That's
Did
an
you
afternoon.
just hear what you just said?
2.5 hours?
2.5 hours is a long time to do anything.
You have sat gaming for longer than 3 hours.
2.5 hours is a basketball. That is an NBA game.
Yeah. And you sit there watching
and you have played half a round of golf.
Dude, you're just hanging. It's like a day out.
You're wasting your time.
No.
There's just so many things I'd rather do.
No. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate it very much. As soon as we wrap up recording, someone's going to do something.
Back on the screen.
The Celtics are going to do something. Dame's going to get traded. Something's going to happen. But we're here. We recorded. We did a nice show for this. Is Sunday. You guys have been loving the Sunday pod. So hopefully you'll continue to love them. But we appreciate y'all. Thank you for the support. We're at like, how many subs are we at now, Sam? We're climbing.
677.
677 subscribers is crazy. So we appreciate you guys very much. Thanks for showing love. Leave 5 stars on Spotify and Apple if you'd like. We would appreciate it. And leave a comment on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much, Sam. Please take us home.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening or watching. If you're watching here on the YouTube, make sure you subscribe, join the other 677. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our daily uploads this summer. We're doing a ton of stuff. We're doing these daily Summer League preview episodes that have been doing really well. Make sure you don't miss any of those. Get yourself excited for next week's tip-off there. For the streaming services, follow us, leave a 5-star review, leave a nice comment. For social media, how about them C's? Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook is just the name of the podcast. You can get any streams we do there as well as the YouTube. You can follow Jack at Jack Smut NBA. You can follow me at Sam LaFrance NBA on Twitter. Hopefully you can see our tweets as it for us.
Tic-tac-toe. Come on.